care in engineering, it makes a difference in service. Chrysler Corporation engineering innovations not only benefit the customer, like the new easier-to-use hood release lever reduces opening effort by 2/3. They've made the service technician's job a little easier as well. For instance, the secondary hood latch has been moved to the radiator yoke. No more surprise clunks on the head when you lean in. And the torsion bar counterbalance hood hinge system takes away the feeling you're taking a muscle-building course every time you open or close the hood. The windshield side trim molding attachment is new. To remove it, push the spring steel retainer clear of the tabs with the trim stick to release the molding. Then, push in the retainer until you feel it release. When you reinstall the molding, take a little extra care. The molding is made out of aluminum. Bend it, and you've bought it. Here's something you'll welcome. Remember what a bare and instrument panel was to work on? Watch this. Trim stick under the rear edge, and you're on your way. Take out a couple of screws, and the trim pad is ready to come off. Lift it out and get down to the works. Here's the room you have to work with. The panel comes off this way. To get the warning lamp bezels off, use a pair of long nose pliers to get the plastic pins out. Take care not to scratch the backside of the warning lamp bezel. The instrument lamps are removed from the back side of the cluster assembly. Easy to get to, easy to remove. You'll notice the lamps are a new design. Here's something you probably haven't seen before. It looks like a small red lamp, but it's really a light-emitting diode. On some cars, they're mounted in the temperature, alternator, and gasoline gauge dials. In this case, the light-emitting diode would come on when the fuel level is down to 1/8 of a tank. The instrument panel goes back together as easily as it came apart. Now, let's get into another area of service which has been improved for 1974, door and quarter glass adjusting. Once again, the trim stick is an important tool. On two-door, full-size cars, the upper half of the door trim is removable for glass adjustment without removing any door hardware. With the panel off, the adjustments are readily accessible. Proper door glass adjustment is very important on full-size cars this year. You see, the glass seals against a new design roof rail weather strip. When the glass makes contact with the weather strip, the edge folds over the glass and forms a constant seal around the perimeter. There are two types of glass guidance systems on full-size cars this year. The single-post door glass guidance system is used on two-door models. As the glass reaches its top position, hooks at the base of the glass engage slots in a bracket at the belt line and force the glass into the weather strip. The two-track guidance system is used on four-door hardtop front and rear doors. With this system, all normal door glass to weather strip adjustments can be made from inside the car with the door closed and the glass up. Let's get into door glass adjusting. Basically, there are four types of adjustments: fore and aft, up and down, in and out adjustments, and tilt. Let's begin with the two-door hardtop front door. To adjust the door glass up and down, the upstop screws are loosened, along with the three bracket guide screws. Now, the glass height can also be tilted. Fore and aft adjustment is made by loosening the same three bracket guide screws and moving the glass. In and out adjustments are taken care of by loosening the door glass guide retainer screws. The trim support bracket must also be moved so the hooks will line up. Quarter window up and down adjustments are taken care of with the up stops. The pivot bracket controls tilt adjustment. Fore and aft adjustment is accomplished by moving the upper track attachment. Also, the upper track bracket attachment is used in conjunction with the stabilizer bar for in and out adjustment. On 4-door hardtop rear doors, the up stops and pivot bracket allow for up and down and tilt adjustment. Fore and aft adjustments loosen the front track upper bracket. In and out adjustment comes from here: the front track bracket upper attachment, trim support bracket, and rear track upper attachment. First, though, you have to loosen the stabilizer bracket so you have clearance for the glass. Okay, let's look at the 4-door hardtop front door without the optional vent window. To move the glass up and down, loosen the up stops. Adjustment for tilt, loosen the pivot bracket nuts. The front and rear upper track attachment also takes care of fore and aft adjustment and in and out adjustment. But first, loosen the lower track attachment. Next, the trim support bracket screws are loosened so the hooks can be aligned. And the glass is moved in or out to the correct position. Glass adjustments on sedan models with vent windows are very similar to 1973 models. So to save time now, see the 1974 service manual for adjuster locations. Let's look at the 4-door hardtop with vents. Up and down glass adjustment. Loosen vent lower frame bracket screws, lower division bar attachments, and the up stops to allow for vent frame up and down assembly adjustment. Fore and aft adjustments are made with the lower division bar. 2 vent lower frame attachments, the rear track lower attachment, and the bracket which you'll notice is attached to the casting. In and out adjustments, controlled with the lower track attachment, lower division bar attachment, and bracket attachment. And now, the vent wing glass. Up and down adjustment is made by loosening the vent wing glass upper and lower attachments. Sedan rear doors have one adjustment: tilt, by moving the regulator pivot bracket. 4-door sedan ventless front door glass adjusting is quite simple. Adjusting points include the pivot guide, rear glass track, trim support bracket, and the stabilizers. Loosen the attaching screws and move the glass up until you're about 1/8 of an inch away from the top of the door frame. Move the pivot guide until the top of the glass is parallel to the door frame. Tighten the attaching nuts. Raise the glass until it's all the way up. Adjust the rear track on its upper bracket so the glass is properly seated in the upper glass frame. Make sure the glass stabilizers are down in place between the glass and trim bracket and support. The stabilizers should contact the inside of the glass, and the outside of the glass should contact the lower lip of the outside belt weather seal. Tighten the rear track upper bracket retaining screws and the lower bracket nut. Run the glass down and up to check for interference. Now let's look at what's new in station wagons. Glass adjusting is simple. Up and down is accomplished with the 2 up stops. The regulator mounting is used for tilt. Loose fit fore and aft at the roof. First, try the upper and lower track screws. If it doesn't bring it in enough, you have another way to go. Move the bracket under the weather strip rearward. Side-to-side adjustment, loosen the lateral adjusting bracket and move the glass. If the latches for the gate need adjusting, all you need is a long Allen wrench. First thing you do is close the right-hand latch. Loosen the screws and the spring-loaded linkages adjust themselves. To adjust the tailgate latches for the door mode, open the tailgate as a door and loosen the inboard Allen screw. The spring-loaded linkages will position themselves properly when the set screw is loosened and retightened. To check if the latches are operating properly, latch both latches. Move the operating lever. The top latch should open first. The handle can be adjusted by loosening the outboard Allen screw. Well, that about covers it for this session. As always, see the reference book for additional information.